I think overall is a message of hope and unity for across the country.
While supporters of President Trump are optimistic about the future, not everyone's getting that message.
They're hunting down immigrants in our communities as if they were animals.
We're sorting out the facts as we know them, giving context to the numbers, and asking a local Republican about what's ahead.
This moment in time is just going to bring us back to some more common sense and pragmatic ideas.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Elizabeth Cook.
I'm Ann Makovec, and President Trump has been in office for 1 week. It's been a bit of a wild ride so far, from immigration to presidential pardons. Today, we're talking with a local Republican leader to see if the president is delivering on what his party has wanted. President Trump, meantime, has been focused on immigration and is declaring victory in a face-off he just had with the country of Colombia. He also said today he's going to sign new executive orders related to the military. Erica Brown has the latest from Washington.
And the new executive orders could reshape the military and impact thousands of service members. They come after Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth promised to bring cultural changes to the Pentagon.
Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth arrived at the Pentagon Monday for his first full day on the job and promised to move swiftly implementing President Trump's agenda.
Our job is lethality and readiness and warfighting. We're going to hold people accountable.
During his comments, Hegseth previewed some of the military-related executive orders President Trump is expected to sign. They include policies for transgender service members, a ban on several diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, and reinstating service members discharged for refusing to get the COVID vaccine. The president is also expected to sign an executive order building an Iron Dome missile defense shield for the United States, similar to Israel's Iron Dome shield.
On the immigration front, President Trump is declaring victory after a weekend standoff with Colombia over return flights of undocumented migrants.
The country's president initially said he wouldn't accept the flights, saying the U.S. cannot treat Colombian migrants as criminals. That prompted President Trump to threaten a travel ban on Colombian government officials and 25% tariffs on imported goods, increasing to 50% in a week. Colombia threatened tariffs of its own, but ultimately backed down.
Sends a message to other countries that the president means what he says and that he is going to deliver punishment if countries don't cooperate.
With immigration crackdown operations ramping up across the country, Immigration and Customs Enforcement reported nearly 1,000 arrests Sunday.
The Colombian government's agreement to accept repatriation flights avoids tariffs that would have been a major blow to their economy and could have impacted exports of coffee, fresh-cut flowers, and crude oil to the United States. Ann?
Thanks, Erica. We want to get down to some of the numbers, some perspective. This is on the immigration issue. These are numbers from ICE year over year. You can see there were more removals last year under the Biden administration than at least the past 6 years. The numbers dropped in 2021 as officers focused on immigrants with serious criminal convictions. And here is a look at how many non-citizens with criminal histories have been removed from the country over the past few years. Last year, ICE says about 32% of them had criminal records. That fraction is indicated in orange in that graph there on your screen. The fear surrounding potential immigration crackdowns has led to some false alarms. On Thursday, a false report of an ICE agent boarding a Muni bus in San Francisco. It spread rapidly on social media with posts stating it as fact. The mayor's office confirmed there were no federal enforcement agents on the bus, but the office says they are aware of the concerns. We also talked to the founding director of the Immigration and Deportation Defense Clinic, and he's urging caution.
When Mr. Trump talked about mass deportation of 10 to 12 million folks, there's no capacity to do that. There's no resources, not enough detention center, not enough immigration judges. They can't do that.
ICE says it takes many factors into account when targeting and arresting people, including their criminal and immigration history. Vice President J.D. Vance talked to Face the Nation in his first interview since taking office. Coming up, what he had to say about the flurry of executive orders and their plan to bring down grocery prices. Also, a political shakeup and an historic San Francisco neighborhood, why some people in Chinatown say they're fed up. All right, we are now 1 week into President Trump's second term, and it has been a flurry of activity. He shut down DEI office programs across the government, removed at least 20 State Department officials in leadership roles, and sent home 160 staffers with the National Security Council while the administration reviews their staffing. Well, over the weekend, Vice President J.D. Vance appeared on Face the Nation. He spoke with Margaret Brennan about the executive orders that the Trump administration has already put into place. So during the presidential campaign, President Trump vowed to lower consumer prices, and the vice president was pressed on whether or not they are keeping that campaign promise.
Prices are going to come down, but it's going to take a little bit of time, right? We're going to work with Congress. We're, of course, going to have more executive orders. One of the main drivers of increased prices under the Biden administration is that we had a massive increase in energy prices.
Vice President Vance says lowering energy prices will help lower consumer costs. Well, there is a political shift in the city of San Francisco, the AAPI community, ushering in the year of the snake. And as our John Ramos shows us, the Lunar New Year is bringing a bit of a change of attitude downtown in Chinatown.
I come out, I walk around in San Francisco Chinatown every day.
Winky Toy has lived in San Francisco's Chinatown for 45 years, and she was happy to see so many people visiting her neighborhood. But she was also happy to see so many of her neighbors coming out to vote in the November presidential election.
They're in their 80s, 90s, old lady, old man. They all came out to vote because the way it is happening in America is going downhill. For example, with the crime rate going up.
Winky is a proud supporter of Donald Trump, and it looks like she has a lot of company in the Asian community. The city's Republican Party is reporting a huge swell in registrations of people from Asian countries since the pandemic. That's quite a turnaround from 2020, when Trump was being blamed for inciting Asian hate crimes against Chinese elders.
America has become less hospitable to immigrants and refugees. Right now, Asians being told to go back to China, the Wuhan virus or the Chinese virus.
But that was then. This is now.
What I see is that regular citizens like we are all fed up with the corruption here in San Francisco and also in California. We are all fed up.
I'm not surprised that they're doing that, and I heard all my friends has changed this year, so I'm not surprised.
Nancy Yu Law owns a couple of businesses, including this gift shop. She stuck it out during the pandemic when the streets were deserted. Now the people are starting to come back, but she's happy to see a new mayor who she hopes will put an emphasis on safety and prosperity.
And sometimes we're not raising our voice, but we always have that value in our blood. I don't really care which party, Democrat or Republican, as long as they know what we need and they serve what is needed, then I'm happy to vote for them.
And if that's not enough of a warning, there's this. On Wednesday, the San Francisco Democratic Central Committee got a letter from the Rose Pack Asian Democratic Club, a prominent political organization, saying the party was failing to meet the needs of the Asian community. It said, quote, "Given this growing divide, we've made the difficult decision not to re-charter with the San Francisco Democratic Party. In fact, it will now be known as the Rose Pack Asian American Club, removing the word Democratic from its name."
So I can see there's a tremendous, attitude change. People are willing to come out to change.
We weren't able to reach anyone from the Democratic Party for comment today, but as progressives, they like to think of themselves as the party of change. But this is one change they may not have seen coming.
Well, the San Francisco Democratic Party gave us a statement saying the party always welcomes Democrats from across the political spectrum to form a chartered club. The Rose Pack Club will always have that opportunity if they change their minds. Also want to mention, we had talked about having a leader of the local Republican Party here on the broadcast to talk about some of President Trump's recent orders. Unfortunately, he's having technical difficulties, so we're not going to be able to bring that to you today. More to come, though. We'll be right back. And now to some other stories around the Bay. Classes are canceled at Solana Wiedemann Leadership Academy in Vallejo. Police say a copper theft caused significant damage to the school's electrical systems. Repairs are expected to take about a week. If the closure extends beyond that, the district is going to arrange to move students to other locations. The plan to shut down Sonoma State University's athletics programs causing a legal fight now. Student athletes and coaches plan to file federal civil rights complaints alleging those cuts disproportionately harm minority students. University facing a $24 million budget deficit. They announced the elimination of the entire athletics department as part of widespread layoffs and program cuts. Students and coaches claim they were blindsided with no prior warning nor input before that decision.
I live on campus, so I'd already paid for the housing, I already paid for tuition, and then it's like, well, if I want to play somewhere in the spring, I can't because I just paid for my whole tuition here.
In addition to the civil rights complaint, attorneys say they are also preparing a class action lawsuit against the university. A Sonoma State official said the cuts were needed because of a 38% decline in enrollment since 2015. And a San Francisco restaurant with an iconic history has officially closed its doors for at least the foreseeable future. Sam Wo Restaurant served its first meals right after the 1906 earthquake. It's been run by family for generations, but the restaurant's lease has come to an end, and the main chef and part owner is now retired. No word yet on the future of the restaurant. The Grammys, less than a week away. An iconic Bay Area rock group, Metallica, is hoping to add another trophy to its already stacked collection. Juliette Goodrich explains why this nomination is about more than just an award.
Metallica is legendary. The band has won 9 Grammys and is up for one more. This time, Best Metal Performance for the hit song, Screaming Suicide. The song tackles a taboo subject and hopes to communicate that even in your darkest hour, no one is alone. Metallica holds the record for most wins in this metal category.
Regardless if you win or lose, it's just really great to be nominated.
In December, the band hosted its All Within My Hands benefit concert and auction at the YouTube Theater in Los Angeles. The charity supports workforce education, the fight against hunger, and other local services.
We have food banks. We also help people learn skills and trades through community colleges in 60 different colleges around the U.S.
And what's great is they do help all kinds of causes, and if there's a disaster somewhere, they're going to be there to help.
On the red carpet, bassist Robert Trujillo stopped by with his wife Chloe. As to how the Bay Area scene influenced Metallica's music,
Bay Area scene was welcoming and accepting of people that maybe were a little bit creatively below the radar and not following any particular trend. And one of the things with Bay Area thrash metal was it was very centric to that area and that region.
This year, Metallica is competing against Spirit Box, a Canadian heavy metal band. If Spirit Box wins, its lead vocalist, Courtney LaPlante, will be the first woman to ever win Best Metal Performance. We asked Robert what's that say about metal music, which historically has been so male-dominated.
I can't wait to hear your answer on that.
Well, no, I think it's important that women need to be recognized with their metal too.
Robert said he hopes she'd win, but win or lose, getting the nomination always strikes the right chord.
All right, it's going to be a good show. You can watch the Grammys live here on CBS News Bay Area. It all starts at 5 p.m. Sunday on KPIX or streaming on Paramount+. And join us at CBS News Bay Area tomorrow on Instagram. We're going to be hosting an Instathon, raising money, partnering with the Red Cross, trying to help people impacted by the SoCal wildfires. You can follow us to donate all day, anytime, as well, and redcross.org/CBS. Thanks for watching. You can always get all the latest headlines and weather over on Pix Plus. And remember to like and click the button on the bottom left of your screen to subscribe for the biggest Bay Area news.